Hi, I'm Dot from dottotrot.com. Today I'm making a great little dish from the UK, Scotch eggs, with a low-carb twist, of course, and its American cousin, the Armadillo egg. So I've already started preparing the dish. Basically, how to make a Scotch egg. Typically, a standard UK Scotch egg includes sausage. Inside of the sausage is a hard-boiled egg. On the outside, you'll have a breadcrumbs. There's a light flour dusting. You might have some seasonings, and then you deep fry it in vegetable oil. Not very healthy when you cook it that way. Instead, what I'm doing is my low carb version is basically it's a naked Scotch egg. Basically, I've got an egg, soft boiled egg inside of here. The yolk is going to stay nice and soft inside as the sausage cooks. So I've got 2 of those made already, and I have 1 more to make. And all you do, I'll just make that right now, is you have your sausage. You sort of want it flat. Now these are best, I find, with medium eggs. I only had large eggs in the house, so like I said, they're soft boiled, so you want to be really careful because you don't want the egg to open up. And you just basically fold the sausage over, and you're making. Just start molding it, and you want to make sure you get that egg covered, and you want to make sure nothing pops out on the other side. Your fold point in the sausage and the opening is obviously your weakest point, and you just want to mold it, and you want to cover it, and you want to try to get the seam as well, make it as seamless as possible, so to speak, because that's where your weak point is, where the sausage can open up a little bit, and you might see egg exposed. It's not a big deal if that happens. It doesn't hurt the egg. The egg isn't gonna, that sausage protects the egg pretty much. And there you go. Now, if I wanted to do this not naked, so to speak, and with the breading without an actual bread crust or breadcrumbs, all you would simply do would use almond flour with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. You put your Scotch egg raw in an egg wash and then roll it in a mixture of almond flour and Parmesan cheese. That's the simplest way of doing it. I decided to go naked this time around. Just cut out the middleman, so to speak, and I just want the egg and I want the sausage. So my Scotch eggs are here. They're gonna get ready to go, and what we'll do, and we'll talk about how to cook them in just a moment. I have to finish up though my armadillo eggs. These are very different. These, instead of, obviously they're a different shape, and there's a reason for that, because I don't have a hard-boiled egg inside of it. I have a jalapeno pepper stuffed with cream cheese. Very, very yummy. Very, very spicy. What I did was I cut off the tops. I took my little paring knife and I hollowed it out to get as much of the seeds and the pith out as possible. And then I just stuffed it with cream cheese. Basically, I shoved it on in there. Another way you can do this instead of in addition to cream cheese, you could also add maybe some shredded cheddar cheese and some chopped up cilantro to it as well with the cream cheese, and it's very tasty if you do it that way. But all you do is, again, just like the egg, you take your sausage patty, you put your jalapeno pepper on the inside, and you fold it, sort of like a taco almost, and then you just start pinching it, and then you start molding it because you want to seal up. You want, just like the egg, you want to seal up that seam and make sure it doesn't come exposed during the cooking. Again, if it does, it does. It's not going to hurt it. It'll still taste just as yummy. But part of it is, sort of the presentation. Now, the advantage the armadillo egg has to me over the Scotch egg is one other secret ingredient, and you can already see it on my board, and I'm getting ready to put it on my last 2, is, of course, bacon. Bacon is what makes these puppies just taste wonderful. And all you do, you take 1 slice of thin cut bacon. Can't use really thick that effectively, and you just want to wrap it around your egg, your armadillo egg. My bacon is sticking. So you just wrap it, and then 1 more to go. The nice thing is this is all sticky, so it's all going to stick together. The bacon should not peel away. There. Now they're ready to be cooked. Let me go ahead and put them on my cutting board. I'm using here a spicy sausage. a hot and spicy sausage. You can use whatever you like. If you like to season, go ahead. Sometimes I'll season it with garlic powder, maybe some oregano. If you want to, a little bit of cilantro. So it just depends what you're in the mood for. Like I said, I like using the spicy sausage, so it doesn't really need as much seasoning. Salt and pepper does wonders too, by the way. The armadillo egg, same. I don't really add any flavoring to it simply because it's already got so much packed in here with the cream cheese and the jalapeno. And I'm using spicy sausage on top of that, so it's going to be pretty hot. For cooking, what you want to do is preheat the oven to about 400 degrees. I'm doing that right now. My oven is heating up. The armadillo eggs are going to go in there straight into the oven for 30 minutes, and you rotate them halfway through. You just turn them over. What you want to make sure is the bacon should be crispy, and you want the sausage cooked all the way through. So 30 minutes should take care of that in no time. The armadillo eggs are a little bit different. We're going to cook them on the stovetop to brown the sausage for, and they're cooked, my oven is preheated officially. But these are going to cook on the stovetop first for about 6 to 8 minutes, and you're going to rotate them as you go about every minute, because you just want to brown it on every side. Once you have the browning done, after that time period, they go into the oven with your, they go into the oven, and basically they cook for about another 6 to 8 minutes, and they'll be done. No turning or flipping is required. And that'll be it. And you just let them cool before you actually go ahead and store them and put them in the container into the refrigerator. They can reheat very easily. You want to be careful with that because, again, the yolks and the eggs here are very soft. It's not a hard-boiled egg, so you want to make sure you heat it up, but you don't overheat it because you don't want to cook that egg up. The other thing is they can be eaten cold, and they're just as good cold. The armadillo egg, it's good cold. I sort of like my bacon hot though, but you certainly can eat it cold. That's not a problem. So let me go ahead. I'm going to head on over to the oven, and we're going to get the armadillo eggs in, and then we'll go ahead and start cooking the Scotch eggs. All right. My oven is preheated at 400. I'm going ahead and putting in the armadillo eggs. I'm doing that now. Again, these stay in for a half hour, so I gotta mind the store, so to speak. Right now, what I'm doing on high heat, I am heating up a fat. What I'm doing now is I'm just heating up my fat, and I'm using lard. You could use lard, you could use butter or ghee if you like. I'm just using a tablespoon of it. And that's just to make sure my Scotch eggs cook evenly and don't stick, as sometimes they can. I'm going to turn it down again to like a little bit of a medium-high heat. I'm going to put them in. You can hear the sizzle, that's what you want. I'm going to take off my glove now. So what I do is I let them cook for about a minute or so on each side, and then I'm just going to rotate them. And just sort of move them around. So they're going to be here for 6 to 8 minutes, probably closer to 8. And then I'm going to go ahead, and after that I'll use my tongs and put them in the oven with the armadillo eggs, and they'll be done 8 minutes later after I do that. Okay, my eggs, Scotch eggs are browned, which is great, which is what I want. They're not done cooking. As I mentioned before, sometimes if you don't get a seam right, they can bust open. This one is the worst I've had. But you know what? That's okay. It's still going to go into the oven. It's still going to cook. Let me take it off. Well, I have the heat off, but it's just sizzling still. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop open the oven. There are my armadillo eggs cooking. It's not quite ready for them to be turned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Scotch eggs. They go in now. These will go in for about 6 to 8 minutes. It's really just until the sausage is done. The egg is probably going to get a little bit cooked, but I'm not as worried about it. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to shove this back in. Oh, I can smell the bacon. It smells so good. I'll close that up. So in about 8 minutes, I'll come back, and I will take out the Scotch egg. And then I'll also flip the armadillo egg at the same time. And then I have another 15 minutes to go before the armadillo eggs are ready to go. All right, it is about 8 minutes later. I'm going to go ahead and take out the Scotch eggs. They should be ready by now. Oh yeah, they're definitely cooked. Shake them out a little bit. Awesome. I'm gonna flip now and put them in the center, the armadillo eggs. Oops. This one doesn't want to stay over. And I'll get that one. We're going to put them back in, and they're going to be in for about another 15 minutes. I might actually put them in the pan to brown the bacon a little bit, but the bacon will be done. The Scotch eggs we're going to let cool off. They can't go into our Tupperware container or plastic container until they're cool enough, otherwise they'll just melt right through the plastic, and that's never a good thing. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes when the armadillo eggs are ready to go. All right, it is 15 minutes later, and I can smell the bacon, and I hear the sizzle. That must mean the armadillo eggs are finally done. So let's go ahead and take them out. Yeah, they're definitely done. So what I'm going to do, just go ahead. The bacon's sticking a little bit, but that's all right. Just go ahead. Oh, some of the cream cheese leached out, but that happens sometimes. It popped out of one end of them. But now, these look amazing. I'm going to let them cool here. And then, oh, you can see right here a little bit. That's the culprit that's leaking a little bit of cream cheese out of there. Hopefully it didn't leak it all out, but if not, you can always spread it on. Just so you know, a great way to have these is you can use it with sriracha or hot sauce. Mustard if you'd like, whatever little topping you like to use or condiment, you can go right ahead and do that. Like I said, I use a hot sausage, but you certainly don't have to do that. You can use something plain instead. But this is my armadillo eggs and Scotch eggs for a snack or light meal on the go.